Now we'll start with mass spectrometry. So under structural elucidation spectroscopic techniques, IR, NMR, mass, ESR, XRD. These are all the techniques we are going to learn, going to be discussed in that. IR and NMR has been covered. Now we are moving on to mass spectrometry. So what is mass spectrometry? Hope you have understood the concept about IR and NMR. IR is nothing but vibrational spectroscopy, right? Where we have discussed vibrational, rotational spectra, IR regions, this all. Hope you can remember all the points behind IR spectrometry, sampling techniques, FTIR, interferometric, dispersive, this all we have discussed. All happens based on vibrational energy changes. Where in NMR we have discussed about nuclear magnetic resonance. Nucleus with odd mass number will give NMR signal. Those all points we have discussed. And in that principle, instrumentation and applications. Applications are it will be applicable for organic molecule, structural elucidation of organic molecule. Major application of NMR is applied for structural elucidation of organic molecules. Organic means it will be having carbon and hydrogen in it, so we can take the nucleus present in the organic molecule as carbon 13 or proton. Taking those nucleus we can analyze by NMR spectroscopy. So these are about IR and NMR. Now let's move on to mass spectrometry. Why we are moving on to the next level? Mass spectrometry means in IR we can find out functional groups and what basic nucleus fingerprint of the molecule, and in the NMR we can find what kind of protons are present, where it is attached to the nucleus and all. We can get the information. If you go with the carbon 13 NMR, what kind of carbon group is present, whether it is methyl carbon or methylene carbon or aromatic carbon, where it is located, para position, meta position, everything we can analyze by NMR. So after getting this information, next we need to move on to the calculation of molecular weight and molecular formula. After getting information regarding functional groups, fingerprints, and then about the nucleus, we need to get the information about molecular mass and molecular formula. So that we can analyze by mass spectrometry. That's why the next level of structural elucidation spectroscopy is mass spectrometry, through which we can analyze molecular mass of the compound, whatever you are analyzing. So to get complete information, we need to go from IR. First you will be seeing lambda max in UV, then you will be going to IR, then NMR, then mass, so that you can identify the chemical structure of any drug molecule. Drug molecules are organic in nature, right? So definitely we can analyze the chemical structure of drug molecule, and it can be compared with already existing molecule also. Okay. So now let's discuss the principle, instrumentation and applications behind mass spectrometry. Hope you can see the written material. I'm very sorry, I'm not preparing for this topics, NMR and mass PPT material, since I didn't find time, and it will be the written material will be having enough material to convey to you. That's why, and you can take as a class notes and you can prepare. If time permits, I will make it as PPT format. And it composed of many chemical structures and all. It is difficult to prepare PPT for this topic. That's why I'm sharing with you written material. Okay. If you have any inconvenience in this written copies, you can ask me. I will explain you clearly. Okay. Whether you are convenient with NMR topic. And I have posted the scan copy material in the material column of NMR spectrometry and mass spectrometry. Respective titles, you can find the materials for all the topics. Okay. The PDF of this written material also has been posted. So you should have, according to the explanatory video also given. So according to that, you can write class notes, and even you can refer the textbook, spectroscopic textbook, which I have uploaded as ebooks in the classroom. You can download Billard book. It is already posted. Okay, in that you can refer NMR spectrometry, comparing with your class notes, and you can study. Okay, it will be easy only. So that okay. Now let's move on to mass spectrometry. So it is mass represents molecular weight. Mass means weight. So we are going to analyze what weight, molecular weight through mass spectrometry. It is not called as spectrophotometry since we are not using electromagnetic radiation in mass spectrometry. Okay, and here we are going to analyze along with molecular mass molecular formula also. Okay, how many carbons, how many hydrogens, how many heteroatoms like oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, this all, how many atoms are present, this all can be analyzed. And what is the importance of this topic in PharmD means you need to analyze whether the drug is acting to the particular receptor. For that you need to know what kind of functional group will be reacting to that particular receptor. How you will come to know whether particular functional group is existing in the molecule or not? Through the structural elucidation spectroscopic techniques. Okay, if the drug molecule is present in the mixture, then you have to go with chromatographic technique where you can separate into individual components, and we can take that separated components as in the form of isolated form after purification, then can be analyzed through spectroscopic technique. Then you will come to know whether expected molecule with expected molecular weight is there or not. And even you can finalize whether it is lipophilic drug or hydrophilic. It is all you can finalize. So accordingly you can determine bioavailability also. That is why these techniques are important and you have to learn the basics behind it. Okay, you will be thinking why we have to read all this spectroscopic chromatography. We are only sticking on to clinical case reports and all. Not at all. When you are coming for laboratory research of clinical substances, then it is required. These are all the techniques required. Okay, that is why mass spectrometry is very important, and all the spectroscopy and chromatographic techniques are very important, and they are considered as quality control methods. Okay, and history of mass spectrometry. Yes, now you know what is mass spectrometry. Mass spectrometry is nothing but to analyze molecular weight and molecular formula, and it is called as spectrometry since it is not called as spectrophotometry, as we are not using electromagnetic radiation for analysis of sample here. Okay, EMR is not used, like UV radiation, visible radiation, radio waves, IR waves, like that. We are not using any radiation in mass spectrometry. That is why it is called as mass spectrometry, not photometry. Photo means photo represents photons, electromagnetic radiation. The radiation is mentioned with photon, right? So photon is not used for analysis. That's why it is not called as photometry. Then also it is called as spectrometry since we will be using electric field. Since electromagnetic radiation composed of electric field and magnetic field, here we will be using electric field, and this electric field will be what we can say, it will be giving a signal as spectrum, similar to spectrum. That is why it is called as spectrometry. Okay, and history of mass spectrometry, who discovered and when discovered mass spectrometry means it started in 1886 by Goldstein. He found that some canal rays are present with magnetic or electric field. Okay, and this canal rays are nothing but cations. Cations are nothing but positive ions. So he found that movement of these cations in magnetic or electric field. Okay, in 1886. When we keep a magnetic field, electric field to that ions formed, the cations formed, they started moving in that field. So he analyzed some cations are moving arranged in the magnetic and electric field. Only this much he discovered in 1886. Okay, then in 1899, Wilhelm, Wilhelm, Wilhelm. Can you see the picture clearly? Material. So in 1886, can you observe the words clearly? Whether you are listening? Oh, okay, pa. Thank you, Akarshna. And Jackson, why you have not submitted class test, pa? Whether you were absent or you will submit? You used to
Yes.
submit in time. Why you have not submitted? I thought to ask you. Hmm?
Which test?
What happened? Okay, Rupeshwaran. Jackson?
Ma'am, am
Oh,
I audible?
yeah.
Which test, ma'am?
I didn't get you.
Which test I didn't submit, ma'am?
Voice clear allappa. Okay, submit it. Okay, if you have not submitted also, you just submit it. Hmm? So after detecting cations regarding canal rays in 1886, then in 1899, Wilhelm, the scientist called Wilhelm, he found mass to charge ratio regarding cations. They are moving right in magnetic or electric field. They'll be moving according to mass to charge ratio. He found. Mass to charge ratio, m by e. M represents mass represents the molecular mass of the particular cation. Okay, e represents charge. Charges, if it is single charge, like only single positive, like Na plus, we will be saying like that. Ca2 plus will be calcium with 2 plus. So it will say about what charge the particular cation carries, whether it is monovalent or divalent, that will be considering as E. So that is taken as mass to charge ratio. So when cations are kept in the magnetic or electric field, they will be moving according to its mass to charge ratio. That was found in 1899 by Wilhelm. Okay, it started in 1886, then in 1899, then in 1980, 1918, Arthur Jaffrey and Dempster, they have developed the recent mass spectrometers, mass spectrometric techniques. And 1919, Aston, he also joined with them and developed LCMS, GCMS, all sophisticated techniques of mass spectrometry. Okay, mass spectrometer is coupled with GC, gas chromatograph, and mass spectrometer is coupled with liquid chromatograph, that is HPLC. LC combined with mass and GC combined with mass. This all developed in 1918 and 1919. Okay, by this scientist Arthur Jaffrey and Dempster in 1918 and 1919 Aston, who are these three scientists who developed the recent techniques of mass spectrometry. Okay, LCMS and GCMS, why we need to couple means, I told measures has to be separated. That can be done with even with a single molecule. That means in microgram sample, if you take, you can separate that molecule and you can characterize the molecule by mass spectrometry. So this is achieved by coupling LC and MS or GC and MS. Chromatography and spectrometry is coupled in this techniques. Okay, so mass is of two types, LCMS and GCMS. Nowadays we used to use not only mass spectrometry. If you already separated, then we can directly go with, if the molecule is highly pure, then we can directly go with mass analysis. If it is not pure, you want to separate and then you want to analyze means, then we need to go with LCMS and GCMS. Okay, these are all advanced techniques of LC and GC. So the development has started from 1886 and it was fully developed in 1919. Okay, overall the scientists were involved in this development: Goldstein, then Wilhelm, Arthur Jeffrey, Dempster, and Aston. So with this history of development of mass spectrometry, let's move on with the principle or theory behind mass spectrometry. The principle comprises of four steps. One is ionization. The first one to analyze your molecule. Okay, the first process is ionization. We are not passing any electromagnetic radiation, but we need to ionize the molecule to analyze by mass spectrometry. Since why we have to go for ionization as the first process, in the history we have seen that cations are analyzed, right? So cations are what? Positively charged ions. So to get ions, from the neutral molecule or drug molecule, how it will be existing, and the neutral form. So we need to convert it into positive ions, that cations. For that, the first process, what we require is ionization. So that is done in the beginning. So the first principle part is step 1 is ionization. Step 2 is fragmentation. Once the ions are formed, it is needed to be fragmented. Fragmented means converting it into small pieces. The whole big molecule, you just consider a big molecule. Some drug molecule you just take in your mind. Okay, any drug molecule, whatever chemical structure you know clearly, you just take in the mind. And you are thinking, you are first ionizing the molecule, making the whole molecule as positively charged ion. That is the role of making ionization. What is fragmentation is making that positive ion into various fragments, into small pieces. Like it will be, molecule will be comprised of many groups and atoms, which will be having many atoms like CH3, OH, benzene group. This all will be there, and then some hetero groups, indole, alkaloids, like that. Many nucleus it will be having. So each will be fragmented into small pieces, and this fragment ions also will be carrying positively charged, positive charge, okay, on it. So all ionized molecule and fragmented pieces will be having positively charged ions. So that to get fragmented ions, and the parent ion which is obtained by ionization is called as parent ion. The ions which is obtained by fragmentation is called as daughter ions, or fragmented pieces, or fragmented ions. Okay, so these are all the ions will be accelerated next. So the step 3 is acceleration. Acceleration means they can be moved or arranged somewhere to analyze the what kind of ions have been formed. That is what in history we have seen. In the 1886, Goldstein, what he said, movement of ions he found in magnetic or electric field. So how we can accelerate the ions means, where we can pass these ions formed through ionization and fragmentation in the magnetic field and electric field. So when you keep magnetic field, when the between the ions path, where the if ions are formed, and through this path, if we keep the through the path of ions, means like how means, when you are moving, right, in the road, how you will be moving randomly, you can means walk. But if you find any gate or some signal, you will be arranged according to your movement or speed, or according to your height, whatever, based on your characteristic, you will be arranged one by one. Likewise, ions also, if we keep gate for ions, how what gate we are giving, magnetic field or electric field. So in that magnetic field, they will be arranged according to its molecular weight. Okay, so lightweight molecule will be moving fast, where here more molecular weight, more mass molecules will be moving slower. Okay, so that they all the molecules will be separated in the electric field and magnetic field. It will be going to the detector one by one, it will be moving to the detector. So acceleration process is nothing but arranging the ions in the electric and magnetic field. When you keep magnetic field, the ions will be accelerated, and if you keep electric field also, it will be arranged and it will be moving towards detector. So that means we are focusing the formed ions towards detector for its detection. What kind of ion has been formed, for detecting it. Detecting their molecular mass and molecular formula, we have to accelerate it. Okay, this acceleration is done by the part of instrument called analyzer. Okay, analyzer. We'll be discussing what are the different analyzers. They will be accelerating the ions towards detector. Okay, so the fourth part is detection. Formed ions, after acceleration, they are passed to the detector as one by one. After arranging in the analyzer, it will be going to the detector for its detection. So detector will tell you about what kind of ions are present in the molecule, and along with the molecular formula, then we can find out what exact molecular formula and weight of the molecule that has been analyzed. Okay, so this is the main principle involved behind mass spectrometry. So what are the 4 steps? Ionization, ionization, fragmentation, acceleration, and then deduction. Ionization means we are making the whole molecule as positive ion, okay, and the fragmentation, and that ion is called as parent ion, and various ionization methods are there. This will happen in the ionizer present in the instrument, okay, and in the same ionizer, the ion parent ion will be going for forming fragmentation, so it will give positively charged fragmented ions, and these fragmented ions are called as daughter ions, okay, and all the parent ion and daughter ions will be moving towards means detector to arrange all the ions formed as individual ions. We need to keep some electric field or magnetic field. So when you keep electric field and magnetic field, in the beginning we'll be giving magnetic field and then we'll be giving electric field, okay. So when you keep magnetic field and electric field, it will be arranged into individual ions. How it will be arranged means according to its molecular weight, okay, molecular weight. So the lightweight molecules, lesser molecular weight ions will be moving fast. Those are thin, we can run fast and walk fast. Those are fat, we cannot walk fast and run fast, right? Likewise, molecules which are heavy, it will be moving slowly, and molecules which are light, then they will be moving fast, okay, and it will be so that it will be arranged individually and it will be taken to the detector for its analysis, and we'll get the spectrum called mass spectrum. We'll discuss about mass spectrum also, how it appears. Mass spectrum, otherwise known as line spectrum, LINE, line spectrum, since we'll be finding all lines only, not unlike other spectrometric methods where you can find signals as peaks. It will be having symmetric peaks, either crest or troughs we'll be getting, but in mass spectrometry we'll be getting only lines, okay. So the spectrum is called as line spectrum. Okay, now let's see about the first process, ionization. What is ionization and what is fragmentation? Let's see about ionization. So after taking the sample, what kind of sample we can analyze means either we can choose solid, liquid or gas. So any phase of sample can be analyzed, but if you take solid and liquid, then it must be converted towards vaporized form or gaseous form. If the sample is in gas form, directly we can analyze the sample by mass spectrometry. The condition of the sample to be analyzed in mass spectrometry is it must be in gaseous state, okay. In gaseous state only the molecule is highly pure, right, not in solid or liquid. So we have to convert the molecule in gas form only. Once it is formed gas, the same principle you have already seen in flame photometry, in the flame we are sending the sample, solid liquid sample, and it is evaporated solvent particles, then it leaves neutral atom, then it forms means vaporization, then it forms neutral atoms, then neutral molecule, then neutral atom. This atom is absorbing. So when it forming a neutral atom, what state it is? In gaseous state. So in gaseous state, atom sodium, potassium in gaseous state, in the flame it is absorbing the energy, right? Likewise, here also solid and liquid samples are converted to gaseous state, and in gaseous state only the sample can go for ionization, positive ions formation, okay. So that the sample must be converted to gaseous form. So solid and liquid sample, solid can be made into solution and we can convert it into vaporized form, and then only it is converted to ions. Whereas gas molecules can be directly taken, it will go for directly ionization. So what is the nature of sample analyzed by mass spectrometry? In the gaseous form or in vaporized form of sample, okay, gaseous state only it is analyzed. But what kind of samples can be analyzed? Either a solid, liquid or gas, all phase of samples can be analyzed, but it must be converted to gaseous form before passing to the instrument, okay. During this selection of sample, you can see in LCMS, liquid sample will be coming to the mass spectrometry. So in between the coupling process of these two instruments, we need to change here in middle, we need to change the liquid sample into gaseous form. Okay, then only we can send it to the mass spectrometer. Where in gas chromatography and mass spectrometry, gaseous sample only will be coming from the column and it will be going to the mass spectrometry directly. So during coupling process, it will not take much process, but in LC, it will be taking means we need to use some special part of the instrument between LC and MS to convert the sample. Okay, to convert the sample from liquid state to gaseous state. That will be there, and that is called as interfaces. Interfaces between LC and MS, GC and MS, like that. Interfaces will be there for coupling LC and MS and GC and MS. Role of interfaces will be converting the sample according to the mass requirement, mass analysis requirements. So after choosing the sample, after converting it into gaseous state, then we can go with the first process, ionization. Okay, there are different methods of ionization. It is an important 5-mark question. Okay, methods of ionization. Here you can find in that common methods are. See, I'm not going very brief into the spectrometry since in your syllabus only introduction to NMR and mass is there. Okay, so I'll tell all the concepts but not much in depth like B form and M form. Okay, you are requiring only what is mass spectrometry and what is NMR only. So I'll tell briefly overall concepts. Once you understand the concept, it will be easy, whatever technique comes under this title. Okay, so the first technique of ionization is electron impact ionization. Second one is chemical ionization. These two ionization methods are commonly used one. Okay, when the sample is in gas or vapor phase, we can go with EI and CI. Okay, if the sample is in gaseous phase, then directly we can go with electron impact ionization and chemical ionization. Okay, if the sample is solid or liquid, then what kind of ionization we can go means that you cannot make as vapor phase, then we can go with electron spray ionization and matrix assisted laser desorption ionization. Okay, and this all will be mostly applicable for proteins. MALDI is mainly applicable for protein and peptide samples ionization. Okay, so what is MALDI? Matrix assisted laser desorption ionization. ESI is what? Electron spray ionization. If the sample is solid or liquid, in order to ionize this kind of samples, then we can go with electron spray ionization and matrix assisted laser desorption ionization. Okay, if the sample is gas or vapor phase, then directly we can apply EI and CI, that is electron impact ionization and chemical ionization. Okay, in electron impact ionization, what is the actual procedure means? Wait, yeah, here it is there. Let's see about electron impact ionization in ionization methods briefly, and likewise the same methods are applicable, means same concept will be applicable in other methods also. Okay, just a second. Why electron impact ionization is commonly used means the electron impact ionization will give enough energy for fragmentation. So fragmentation occurs easily when electron impact ionization is used. That is the first technique I said. Ionization technique. Under this first technique is electron impact ionization, and this is commonly used one since it gives enough energy for fragmentation, both ionization and fragmentation. Okay, and next one is chemical ionization. Here we can use methane, ammonia as gases. Chemical gases will be used for ionization of the sample. So what are the gases? Methane, ammonia, this all will be used, and that can be when it is passed to the sample, it will be getting ionized. Sample will be getting ionized. Okay. And then electron spray ionization will be spraying electrons to the sample for ionization. In the matrix assisted laser desorption ionization, matrix will be there in the around the molecule, and that will be ionized based on applying laser desorption ionization. Okay, it is a surface phenomenon. Desorption ionization occurs. So at the surface of matrix you can find the ions in order to analyze by mass spectrometry. This is the common principle behind all the techniques. Now let's see what is electron impact ionization method. Electron impact ionization method. Since it is applicable for ionization and fragmentation easily, we are going with electron impact ionization. Impact means what? Electrons are bombarded or it will be striking onto the sample. Okay, high energy electrons will be passed onto the sample or bombarded with the sample. Bombarded means striked with the sample in order to make it as ions. So you will be taking some neutral molecule as drugs. To that, high energy electrons are passed in the form of electric voltage. Okay, so source of ionization is high energy electrons in electron impact ionization. High energy of electrons means how much energy in voltage, electron voltage it is applied means 10 to 15 electron voltage is applied. Okay, so how much energy for parent ion formation or first ion formation from the neutral molecule is 10 to 15 electron voltage. Okay, 10 to 15 electron voltage. For example, consider here a molecule that is you can find pentane, right? It's pentane. Means isopentane. What we will call it as isopentane, right? So 10 to 15 electron voltage, if we apply to the neutral molecule, then it will become positively charged ion. So when we bombard the molecule with a 10 to 15 electron voltage, that is high energy electron beams are passed to the sample, then it will get positive ion to it. So it is called, this ion is called parent ion. Okay, this ion can be represented with P plus or M plus. P plus in caps, P in caps plus or M plus. It is called as molecular ion. The ion is called as molecular ion or parent ion. The whole molecule becomes positively charged here when at the stage of ionization process. For making the whole neutral molecule into single positively charged molecule, we require 10 to 15 electron voltage, and the molecule formed is called as parent ion or molecular ion. Okay, got the points till now, right? Is there any doubt till now? What are the 4 steps? What are the 4 steps in mass spectrometry? Can anyone say? Junaid, what are the 4 steps in mass spectrometry? Give answers, no? One of you. Yeah, baby Kartika. Junaid?
Ionization,
Hmm.
acceleration,
Ionization,
detection,
fragmentation,
fragmentation.
ionization, fragmentation, acceleration, and deduction. 4
Detection.
steps. 4 steps involved in the principle of mass deduction. Okay. Now we are seeing what technique we are seeing now. May know what technique? Ionization. What ionization we are discussing now? What ionization method we are discussing?
Electron impact.
Yeah, electron impact ionization. So to make a single molecular ion, the whole molecule will become positively charged in this, so that we are passing high energy electron beams to the neutral molecule to make this neutral molecule as positively charged ion. For this process, we require 10 to 15 electron voltage energy. So how it is applied? With the high energy electron beams. When we are passing or bombarding the electron energy to the molecule, it becomes molecular ion, and it is represented with P plus or M plus, and the formed ion is called as parent ion. Since it is not fragmented, it is the whole molecule, or as such what drug molecule you have taken becomes positively charged, so it is called as molecular ion or parent ion. And it is the ion will be detected in mass spectrometer when you find a high molecular weight peak in the mass spectrum, that is nothing but M plus peak or P plus peak, which will be having high molecular weight when comparing to daughter ions or fragmented ions. How you can detect this molecular ion in mass spectrum? The ion peak will be high, molecular weight peak will be high, molecular weight will be high. Okay, intensity may be less, but the weight will be high. So among all ions, whichever ion in the x-axis, if you take mass to charge ratio, whichever ion is having high molecular weight, that peak is considered as molecular ion peak. So take this information also, we'll be discussing when we are coming to the mass spectral studies. Okay, interpretation of mass spectrum. In that we'll discuss what is M plus ion peak. Now you have to know what is M plus ion peak. A molecular ion peak will be having high molecular weight among all other peaks. Okay. Next process is fragmentation. So when the molecule will be going for fragmentation, means that is nothing but breaking of bonds to give small pieces. Okay, bond breakage occurs in the neutral molecule, in the parent molecule, so that it becomes fragments, that is means splitted into different groups. For making this fragmentation, we need to apply 70 electron voltage energy. Okay, so energy should be high. You need to send high energy electron beams in order to get fragments, many fragments. So for that, what is the energy level? 70 electron voltage. So 10 to 15 only is required for ionization. For fragmentation, in order to get daughter ions or fragmented ions, we require 70 electron voltage. What is fragmentation? Breakage of bonds occurs in the molecule to give different fragments. Now let's move on to in this fragmentation pattern and rules are very important. It will be another 5-mark question. Okay, fragmentation patterns or rules. So now let's move on to fragmentation patterns. So shall we discuss this fragmentation pattern in the next class or now? If you are ready, now we'll discuss, or we can discuss tomorrow. Say your convenience.
Next class.
Next class. Okay, thank you for cooperating, since it is towards lunch. And sorry for the interferences during this online classes. It's not my aim that I have to come lately or this one. I have works, that's why I couldn't come in time to the classes. Okay, but definitely I will cover your syllabus. I'll make you to prepare for the exam. Okay, don't worry. Whatever, if you have doubt in this spectroscopy, kindly clarify then and there wherever you get doubt. Okay, so if you are attending class, definitely it will be easy. If you are not attending, definitely spectrometry is not easy to read from textbooks. Okay, so thank you. Get prepared for your forthcoming exams. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for the cooperation.